Okay, shalom, y'all. The title of today's show is self-examination, and like I said, I'm sure you've heard people talk about this before and everything like that. I'ma just I might I'm gonna probably go in and a little deeper on it and make sure we get all the meat off the bone on this topic. In light of just a little situation I had at work yesterday, just you know, brought it into really put it into perspective. So I thought I'd do a lesson on it to edify, everybody else. Um, so what we're gonna start with a scripture here, and it will be well. Let's define it. I pulled up the definition of examination, and it's a detailed inspection or investigation, and it says detailed. So that is the definition of it, and what it is looking at yourself in detail. Okay, so and what we're going to start with 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 5, and it says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith, prove your own selves. It says, know ye not your own selves how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates. And what I did is just to get kind of a deeper understanding of that scripture, I pulled up the amplified version. So we'll read that too. It says, test and evaluate yourselves to see whether ye are in the faith and living your lives as committed believers. So what? Living according to Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments. And to go, what are his laws, statutes, and commandments? The 10 Commandments. But like you always hear me say over and over again, if you want to know to the minute detail to every how Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments apply to all the little situations you have in your life or issues you might have in your life, a good place to start, good place to go to really bring those into obvious light, to make them real obvious to you. Again, I always say it's Proverbs and Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus and Sirach are in the Apocrypha. They're the same books. That it's the same name. It just has two names. And that's a good place to go, those two books, because they make it very plain any area of your life that might be off. So that's a good place to start. But again, it says faith and living your lives as committed believers. That's going to show it to you. It says, believers, examine yourselves, and it put there, not me, or do you not recognize this about yourselves by an ongoing experience that Jesus Christ is in you, unless indeed you fail the test and are rejected as counterfeit. So these situations, like a lot of situations where you're supposed to be examining yourself, a lot of times people don't realize that is the purpose of these situations, because a lot of these situations is so easy to just be like, oh yeah, that's them. Like for instance, in my trial by fire video, which my brother made sure he let me know that, hey man, you spelled that wrong, man, fix that. Because he knows I'm not the best the most academic person out there. So anytime I put something out, he's like an editor. He's just scrutinizing it. But I guess I reversed the I and the A or whatever. So, you know, I appreciate everybody. I guess most people probably didn't even realize it, but my brother did. But anyway, in my trial by fire video, what I was talking about there was a situation at work where, you know, where I work at, I deal with a lot of spiritually unstable people, just a lot of people who can be difficult to work with. And obviously difficult to work with. And in the environment I work in, you, you know, I work on airplanes. You might have to work with anybody, you know. And when I say work with them, not just in a capacity to where you could ignore them, you have to interact with them. So it puts a heavy strain on, you know, your social skills and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to really develop them, or you're gonna really have a tough time. Anyway, so I had a situation with an individual, and like with me, somebody come at me sideways, unless they punch me in the head or something, I just don't respond. You know what I'm saying? I don't get into it and go back and forth with people because, you know, it'll escalate. And unless somebody's threatening my family, to which I'm coming with lethal force, other than that, uh, I don't I don't let a situation escalate. I do everything I can to de-escalate it, even if I get embarrassed or whatever or look like a punk. I know I'm not, but anyway, that's what I did. But still, these situations bother, you know, that they can mess with you. You know, in this particular situation, the way it went, you know, I was tired, all that. I felt I felt like I could have turned. I felt the temptation to turn up, you know what I'm saying, escalated, but I didn't, you know. I just stayed the course. But this is the thing, in situation like that, it's so easy to be like, well, it was just him, and it was, but in all situations, you have to practice self-examination. So I always, well, what did I do to bring this about? And in that situation, I saw things that I could do to avoid situations like that even progressing to that level. You know what I'm saying? Limiting how I deal with certain individuals at that job on you know what I'm saying? Um, avoiding just dealing limiting my exposure to that individual, you know, on the job. So um and limiting what I say to that individual on the job. You know what I'm saying? Certain things I ask them, and it's just it's tough. I mean, it could be tough, especially, you know, where I work at out there. You know, like I said, I'm an aircraft mechanic, so you have to interact with everybody, no matter what their personality is. It's not like an office job where you could, well, I'm gonna just stay in my cubicle and severely limit, you know, how I'm dealing with this person. So, like I said, it's like a trial by fire. But all that to say, in all situations, it's imperative to practice self-examination. Um, and I see it. I see. I mean, it because it's so easy to just say it's them. You know, it is. But there's in all these situations, there's always growth. There's always the opportunity, you know, to grow and to learn. But it's tough. It like your carnal mind resists it. It's gonna fight it. You know. So, but like I said, and for me, you know, in the past, I would have just been like, yeah, that's him. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know, but now at the level I'm at, I saw a a huge area I need to grow in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not teaching or talking on that because I'm still working on it. So I'm not going to put something out there that I'm still working on, I'm still growing in. And it's advanced growth for me. And it's stuff I had prayed for years ago, you know, that, and now I see myself growing in that area, you know. But and there's always room for growth. Um and like I said, in the end, when I attain that growth that I do desire to grow in, and praise God for bringing that growth to me in a not so painful way, because I've had areas I've had to grow in that He showed me that were painful, and it says His rod and His staff, they comfort me. If you look, that's what it's. I think it says that in Psalms. And if you look at a shepherd's rod and a staff, well, the staff is just a gentle grab by the neck, pulls you in this direction. The rod is basically a club. So he gonna comfort you one way or another. You know what I'm saying? I want the staff, not that rod. So that this was a rod type guidance and growth. So, but anyway, I hope I hope this lesson was informative. In conclusion, the main point I wanted to make is I would say one of the hardest things in growth is the self-examination. Pride will completely block you from doing this work because you're going to say, I'm righteous, I'm correct, I'm right in this situation. But in all situations, there's always something to learn from. You know what I'm saying? And that's perfecting yourself. You know, the refiner's fire, refining yourself. Like when they refine gold, burning out the impurities, scraping them off the top. There's a good video out there of how they purify gold and how it lines up with the scripture. And it's an awesome video to watch. That's some good homework to do. But anyway, put your comments in there. Let me know what you think. If you've dealt with situations like that, you know, and appreciate everybody watching the videos. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day.